Have you noticed? Have you noticed that prescriptive monogamy is turning women, sisters like you and I, into 304s? Oh, no, I'm not going to include myself. It's treating us, it's turning us into 304s. Prescriptive monogamy. That's the forced monogamy. Yeah. You don't believe me? Well, here's a doctor promoting it, and then I'll get into it. So just hold on. It's a doozy.
Is that in today's sexual marketplace, you have to allow yourself to be used, women, in order to get what you want. And you may need to allow yourselves to be used longer than you might expect. This isn't your parents', let alone your grandparents' generation. When it comes to sex, it is a buyer's market, not a seller's one. This means that you might have to work longer and harder than you think you should just to get your foot in the door. Like, think of the fashion industry. Is it right? Is it fair that people work for years as unpaid interns with no guarantee of success in order to launch their careers? Right or wrong, it's what's required given prevailing market forces. There's so many people who want into that industry, and there's only so many jobs. It's for you to decide whether it's worth it, not for you to decide what is necessary. For better or worse, there is only one. The fact of the matter is that in today's sexual marketplace, you have to allow yourself to be used, women, in order to get what you want. And you may need to allow yourselves to be used longer than you might expect. This isn't your parents.
Okay, so you get the point, Dr. Terban. Dr. Terban, I like him, He's a psychologist online, and if you follow the manosphere and this side of the internet, you kind of know who he is, right? I normally don't respond to brothers at all. If you're debating theology, you're coming to the wrong place because I'm a woman. I won't go there. But I'm going to talk to this psychologist because he, in the end of certain episodes, especially the ones he's speaking to sisters, to women, he asks us to respond to him. He says, well, if you agree or if you don't agree, leave a comment, and he tells us to respond back to him. He wants to know what we think about this topic, right? So he's been going on for a long time, giving advice to women that obviously I don't agree with, right? And obviously, I could have put it in the comments, but because of you sisters here, I want to talk to you because had you followed onto his content, like had you really started following him and really started to believe some of the things that he's speaking to the men about, you're like, oh yeah, 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 kind of understand how he's talking to the men. And then he turns around and he says he's encouraging women to be 304s in order to get the ring. Basically, that's what it is. It's like you got to be a good, you know, lawn tool, garden tool, the best one possible before a man will give you the ring. And you have to be willing to be used like a lawn tool, whatever, as long as possible before a man decides to give you what you want. And what you really want, and what most women really want, is a committed relationship called marriage. We want to get married, okay? We don't want to be on the streets. We don't want to be used and abused by men. We want a committed relationship. But he is telling us in different ways, and I'm going to go back to the beginning of this episode, all right? We're going to listen to a little bit. I can't go through the whole thing because of the copyright, but this is for educational purposes only. He is telling us, this is what I summarize, that in order to get what you want, i.e., marriage, my women, my sisters, you need to be the best version of you, which is true, but you need to be really, really creamy, which means like sexually creamy, really good in the sack kind of thing. You need to be willing to give it all up for as long as possible, willing to be used for as long as possible until the man decides that he can't do without you. And then maybe, like a big question mark, maybe he might let you in. Yeah. You don't believe me? Let's listen to more. And maybe you watched this content before because it's quite amazing how deceptive it can be. It really is. Let's try another one here of his. Remove that, and I'm going to add another one of his, okay? and see what he is up to, because he says we women have to allow ourselves to be used. Yeah, let's hear what you got to say about that, brother. He's not really a brother. He's not a Christian. It's all right. There we go.
Through psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is women have to allow themselves to be used.
All right.
This one is for the ladies. A provocative title, I'll admit, but I hope the episode justifies its usage. Let's get right to it.
Okay.
Ladies, it's my understanding that one of your primary concerns about modern dating, especially in an age where sex precedes commitment, is that you will be used. That is, you might enter into a sexual relationship with a particular man. However, this might not lead to the relationship outcome you would prefer.
Okay, we'll stop there. Tell me that's true, right, sisters? We want to be married, and we see a particular man, and we're hoping that he will commit to us. Got it. You're right. Continuing.
Maybe you're ghosted afterward, or you enter into a vague situationship that doesn't seem to go anywhere. And women are subject to considering these outcomes to be exploitative.
Well, isn't it? When man sleeps with us, uses us, and we give ourselves. So I'm not saying the man is a victim, okay? Or we're the victims because we deliberately open our legs and have sex with men because we're taught that we need to do that in order to get the man to commit to us. Like he's going to promote. And then it exploits our body, yes, because we've offered our body, prostituted it in hopes of getting married. It's like hoeing. Can I say hoeing? It's like shoveling for marriage. And you're the shovel.
Or a waste of their time. And I'm here to address this concern and help you navigate this reality successfully.
Okay.
To reduce the likelihood of this occurring, there are 3 things you have to do.
All right.
The first is exercise appropriate discernment. Like, there are guys out there who will never give you the relationship outcome you would prefer.
So he goes right off the bat that we women have to discern these men, like know the intentions of their heart, know that they're not going to give us what we want, right? And this is like so ridiculous because true, there's some obvious ones you think, right? So the gangster down the street, the bum down the street, whatever. Obviously, he's probably not going to offer you marriage. He's probably too financially not able to, for whatever reason, unstable because of his addiction, whatever. But he is presuming that the most modern women have the intellect and the emotional maturity to discern on our own when a man is going to potentially ask us to marry. He thinks that women have that capacity on our own to discern the intentions of a man and know which men are going to offer marriage and which men don't. And there, off the bat, my psychologist fella over there, you assume wrong because you give us too much credit. We sisters, we women, when our emotions run and our hormones run and we have the hots for you, wherever we may be, those discernments go off. Okay, we're not men. We don't operate on logic. We operate on hormones and emotions and feelings, right? And the rest of it has nothing to do with it. So you give me 10 men as options. You tell me, Deborah, I got 10 potential men and I got to discern which one in the future, right? In the future is going to offer me marriage. I have to do that right away. And at the same time, you're telling me that I have to offer myself right away too. We'll get that because he's going to say later on in several other episodes that we're going to reveal that women should actually go ahead and do the one night stand and go ahead and offer sex right away and be willing to be used like a 304. Be willing to do that off the bat, right? This is what he's saying. And this is what other men in the manosphere, a lot of them are saying. Not all of them, but a lot of them are saying. Go ahead, my women, and allow yourself to be used like that. Sexually used. And it is immorality, okay? Because this is called for wisdom. I talk to my sisters about biblical marriage and biblical relationships, and we're not into the world. It's either you're married or you're not, okay? There's no kind of in between, I'm having sex with you and it's okay. No, it's either I'm married, I'm having sex with you, or I'm not married and I'm having sex with you. And that is called fornication. Californication. Yeah. So, anyways, let's just say there's 10 men, and he is assuming that I'm supposed to discern in my heart that these 10 men here Out of them, I'm supposed to know which ones, all on my lonesome self, which ones are the best. And not expect to be abused by any of them, right? So I'm gonna have to guess, and I'm gonna have to guess really quickly because, date one, I hold out. I try to hold out, although he's telling me to give it up, like give up my sexual purity by date one. But let's say date one, I held up and I talked and I asked him all the right questions. I asked him if he had a job. He said yes. Um, does he love children? Yes. And I asked him, do you want to get married one day? He might say yes or he might say no. Like even if he says yes, who cares? A man will say anything to get into your pants, my sisters. He will say anything. So he says yes to you. I'm supposed to discern the intentions of his heart, whether it's true or not. He's making it as if women can discern this. And then he's going to say, are you religious? Do you believe in Yah? He goes, yes. He's handsome, crosses out all my little superficial boxes. Right. And that's the level of my discernment. By then I probably slept with him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Right. Giving up the goods. That is the modern dating. That's why monogamy, and I'm blaming it on prescriptive monogamy and also on patriarchy, because we have actually the lack of patriarchy, because we have run away from the people that should be actually doing the discerning and the judgment. It's not me. It should be our fathers, our brothers, the other men. Think of it this way. Think of you like a sheep. Remember, I've gone through this before. If you follow the code for wisdom, I love to use the analogy of a sheep. We women are like sheep. The men are called shepherds. They're the husbands taking care of the sheep, right? I, on my lonesome, want to get married. But if I am in a flock already with my father, who is the shepherd, my father who's been tending me and taking good care of me, making sure I'm fat and healthy and my skin is shining and I am a virgin, then my father is going to walk me over to the farmer's market and he is going to negotiate with another shepherd, another man, and he's going to talk about the glorious way he raised me and how I serve him well and how I already do all these things at home for him. And he's going to promote my humility and my godliness and my quietness and the fact that I don't argue and the fact that I've kept myself pure. And he's going to negotiate that with another farmer. And he doesn't care what the farmer looks like. Like his hormones are not affected by the other man because he's not, he doesn't go that way, right? So my father negotiates with the other man called the shepherd for his sheep called his daughter. That is the way it's supposed to go. I hope we need to bring back arranged marriages. Arranged marriages were a great, great idea. It used to stop us from being on the streets, my sisters. Now we're trying to negotiate with men and they're blaming us for not discerning. And it's true. We're not sorry, we're not that smart. Sheep are not that smart. We follow other sheep. I am a woman. I have a couple of degrees. I'm telling you, my sisters, it don't make a difference when the hormones are flowing. You're not that smart. You will open up. You know that. He says the right words. He smells really nice. It's warm. It's dark. Nobody's there to see you. After dinner and a glass of wine. That's all it takes. Doesn't really take much. And now he wants to blame me, saying I don't discern. Well, I don't need to be discerning because that's my role of my father, my coverer, the other man. You sisters, get yourself another man called your husband, not your husband, obviously your father, your brother, somebody in your family, your relatives that are male who have no interest in going to sleep with you because they're biologically related to you, and negotiate for a husband with them in mind. Involve them into it so that they are the ones that are ascertaining the value of the man and the intent of the man. Like, remember the saying, like, what do you want with my daughter kind of thing? If the man cannot approach your house, knock on your door, and talk to your father first, then he really shouldn't be asking you out anywhere. He shouldn't. But anyways, I'm going too far, or maybe not, because I kind of feel led to speak to you, my sisters. It doesn't matter how old you are. I feel compelled to speak to you that we need to go back to the covers because monogamy, prescriptive monogamy, is making us into 304s. And the fact that we've left our fathers and left them out of the whole business is making us prostitute ourselves for the one little spot called a monogamous relationship. And because all of us are looking for that one little opening in the man's life, because he ain't got no room for nobody else. There's only one wife he can take. We're all like crawling all over each other, hoeing ourselves up, prostituting ourselves for that one opening called monogamy because he can only have one. And so we're trying to be the best that he has ever had, the best flavor of ice cream, the best he's ever had, the best bicycle he's ever ridden. And then the sad thing about it is that after he's tasted your ice cream and yours is vanilla, he will still want rum and raisin. He still likes chocolate. He might lie to you and tell you, no, I only like vanilla. And that was the season for vanilla. Give it a couple of years, you'll want chocolate. Not even a couple of years. Men like variety. I'm not even blaming that. This is called, that's okay. That's the natural way that men are made, right? But prescriptive monogamy says there's only one flavor he's allowed, and he's only allowed to buy one of you, called a wife. He's only allowed one in. And all of us are now in this world, modern world, hoeing ourselves. We're allowing ourselves to be used sexually to get into this man's household because there's only one. And we're going to allow ourselves to be used as much as possible, hoping that he will want us so much that he'll go on his hands and knees and beg us to get in. Oh, it's insane. It is bloody insane. But let's continue. I'm going to rant on this for a while. Just hold on because I'm not done yet. Let's just continue.
No matter what you do, ever.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to get better at figuring out who these guys are.
Okay.
Simply asking men, what are you looking for, is stupid and ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
It is stupid and ineffective because both the man who lies and the man who tells the truth will say the same thing.
True.
I'm looking for a long-term relationship. Mm-hmm. Men have learned long ago that you punish any other response to this question. More on that in a future episode. So ultimately, this is a problem that you created for yourselves. If you punish the truth, you're asking to be lied to.
That's true. So I agree with him on that way. Men do lie and they will say anything because to get what they want, right? That's just nature of the game. And we punish them, he says. Yeah, and we kind of make them lie for it, he says. Whatever. We shouldn't be involved in this whole negotiation thing. Stay out of it, okay? Move it on. Moving on. Next point.
It's not a very popular opinion, but I'd like you to consider that it's not men's responsibility to be honest and transparent with you. Like, they shouldn't outright lie, but you also shouldn't expect that they're going to tell you everything either. I want you to consider that it's not their job to tell you the truth. It's your job to figure out the truth.
Again, it's not your job to figure out the truth, my sister. It's your brothers and your fathers and the other men. The other men can read the BS of the other men, okay? And they are more respectful. Like, you look at my father when he was alive and you tell him what your intentions are for his daughter, right? Go ahead and lie to him if you wanted to, because if you did, you'll be in trouble because there's a man looking at another man and saying, you want my sheep and you want to mess around with my daughter? That ain't going to happen. Right? That needs to come back. Bring back your brothers and your fathers into the negotiation and take yourself out. That's what I'm telling you, my sisters. But moving on.
Just like it's their job to vet you, it's your job to vet them.
No, it isn't.
And if you can't get better at discerning the opportunities that are likely to lead to the outcome you would prefer, then I'm afraid you're just going to run into the same issue over and over and over again. We all make mistakes. And to a certain extent, we all have to learn the hard way. But it's like, learn your lesson and make different mistakes moving forward.
Like, learn your lesson and continue making mistakes moving forward. Let me just help you out, sisters. Don't make the mistakes anymore. If you are young enough and you still got your virginity, involve your family and your brothers and your uncles and your father in this whole negotiation thing and skip all that he said there, okay? And if you're past that, still invite them into these conversations with your potential, the men that's trying to suit you and approach you. So you don't learn the lessons the hard way, thinking that you on your own can negotiate this and discern this. Do not be an arrogant, stupid woman, okay? Don't think of yourself higher than you ought to think, like Romans 12 says. Don't. Humble yourselves, my sisters. Obviously, we are not good at picking men. Look at the track record. How many of you are still single? How many of you have past relationships because of the choices that you have made? Yeah, we fail. We fail. So get the men involved, get the brothers involved, and skip that part. Moving on. I keep on saying moving on, but yeah, you get the point.
Consider this problem from a professional standpoint.
All right.
Wanting to get married to a high-value guy is kind of like wanting to be the CEO of a successful company. Lots of people want it. The vast majority of them will be disappointed in their wanting. If you get hired at a certain company, there is typically no assurance that you will ever become the CEO. Even if you work your ass off for 40 straight years, there is absolutely no guarantee that you will end up in the C-suite.
Well,
And generally, no company will guarantee that outcome when they hire you.
I like this analogy, and you know me in analogies. So he is using the analogy that monogamous marriage, and when he says marriages, he means monogamous. He's not promoting polygyny like I do, one man with many wives. He's saying monogamy because like the traditional one man, right? So there's only one CEO position for you, one and only first wife, only wife thing, right? One CEO, and we all these modern women, we're all like trying to become the CEO of the company. That's what he's saying, right? And he's saying the chances are very low that you ever be the CEO. So basically he's saying being settled, being the under, being used like everything else, like being used. He's comparing the rest of us as having to work for 40, 30, 50 years, however long it takes, because the chances of you becoming married, the CEO, is slim to none, especially in this dating marketplace. And I could tell him he's true. It's actually true, because this is how prescriptive monogamy has messed us up, has screwed us over. This idea that it is so unattainable in 2025 to get a man to commit to you, to be in a monogamous relationship, and to stay that way, like to stay that way. It's like trying to be a CEO, and all of us are trying to apply for the job, and he's going to take us all in and put us in different positions, but you're not going to be the wife. That's what he's trying to say. I like this analogy better for polygyny, but he's, we'll get there later. But right now he's talking about the CEO being the prize.
But you sign up for the job anyway.
All right.
And you generally sign up for the job because you like the compensation package at the position for which you were hired. And this means that even if you never get promoted to CEO, you also can't really complain that you were exploited, as you were compensated for your time at the rate you agreed to.
So you agreed to be a 304 in hopes of being a 30 a CEO wife, right? And so you should be happy that he treated you like a 304, compensated you for your time with some dates, cheesecake, some steaks, some hookups at the nighttime, You got the title girlfriend and no commitment. No commitment. You should be happy at that rate, he's saying. Be happy, my sisters. That's the new thing. Because he'll continue. Here we go.
Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have accepted the position.
Okay.
Now, you're going to have better chances at career advancement at some companies over others, aren't you? However, both types of companies will generally tell you that they offer growth opportunities during the interview process. So if being the CEO one day is very important to you, then you have to use your discernment to figure out which type of company you're dealing with. This is because no company ever will tell you that they're hiring for a dead-end job while they're still in the hiring process.
Gotcha. So you got to use your discernment. Now, when he uses the word discernment, just turn that around, my Torah observant women, my Christian sisters, my believing women, and think discernment means dad, brothers, right? Use them to discern whether or not there is a position in this man's house for a wife, right? If he's looking for a wife, use them to determine whether or not that is true. That's what I'm just giving you that advice to do. Don't go on your own, use them, because not all men are looking for a wife. That's so true. And very rarely do you get hired for that position. You will be used until you learn the wrong way.
Okay. Now, before I go any further, if you're liking what you're hearing, please
let's skip over all that. Thank you very much. And let's go.
Grow as you can possibly muster. Otherwise, you're acting deluded and entitled.
Oh, okay. Let's go back. Tell me again.
Acting deluded and entitled.
No, before you said that.
Promoted by showing up and doing your fucking job.
Oh, sorry.
Really, really well. Every single day for as many days in a row as you can possibly muster. Otherwise, you're acting deluded and entitled.
Mhm.
Like in a professional context, imagine believing you can get promoted without exceeding expectations, or thinking you only have to work for a few months before you get a corner office.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, you guys have to watch this whole thing. I'll give you the link. I'll give you the link. Okay, I'll just give it because I don't want to go too far. But basically, he's saying, my sisters, is that you got to be allow yourself to be used as much as possible before you get expect to be promoted to the wife status. Because remember, that is like a glorified only one position thing in monogamy. And that is why monogamy is making us women and turning us into 304s, hoeing for that position. And this doctor here is encouraging it left, right, and center in so many of his episodes. I'm gonna have a wonderful time responding to you because he asked for a response. Okay. You guys are gonna let me know. I'll continue this conversation a little bit more this week or next. I don't know. Y'all willing. But if you have any comments regarding this, like, do you think that monogamy is turning women into 304s? Let me know in the comments. And do you think that we should allow ourselves as women to be used as much as possible to get that one spot called the monogamous one and only wife? Like, how much are you willing to do? And when you finally get it, my sisters, I'm going to tell you, it's going to open up the position to somebody else too, because men are not monogamous. I love you all. There we go. Thanks for hanging out with me. Call for wisdom. My name is Deborah. It's been great. Take care.